Thank you. So, Bhagavad Pravaha. We have heard the overview of Srimad Bhagavatam and how Srimad Bhagavatam is Sakshat Sri Krishna Bhagavan. Yeah, that also we have heard. And then the whole Bhagavatam just in 1 hour. After that, the first canto, second canto, third canto, fourth canto, fifth canto, sixth canto, seventh canto, eighth canto, ninth canto, 10th canto. I'm already having separation. Separation anxiety from the 10th canto with this last session of 10th canto. The Ashraya Tattva, Lord Krishna. So we are in the 10th canto, the last session of 10th canto. We have heard about the appearance of the Lord and all the pastimes of the Lord. From Madhura, appeared in Madhura, and then Vrindavan pastimes came back to Madhura, Madhura pastimes, the Dwaraka pastimes. They're going on now, And now, today we will hear about, we have heard about Sudama, Vipra last time. And today we will be hearing about Arjuna kidnapping Subhadra. Okay, that's one thing. And the next one is how Lord Krishna reciprocated with his two devotees. One is a king, the other one is a poor Brahmana. So Lord Krishna with Bahulashva and Shrutadeva, they are the names. So that will be the second one. And the third one would be how Sukadeva Goswami is establishing the supremacy of the Lord Krishna. First, he establishes supremacy over Shiva, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. And after that, supremacy over Lord Narayana, how Krishna, when we say supremacy, this is a transcendental one, especially when it comes to Lord Narayana and Krishna, both of them are Vishnu Tattva. Tattva is the same, the rasa is different. So supremacy of Krishna, how it is all established, so that we will hear. There are three. So there are three divisions there. And after that, we will hear about how in these, we will hear various stories just in these three, how Lord Krishna's supremacy is established. So we will hear all those stories. And then Bhagavatam winds down by saying, Suta Goswami winds down Bhagavatam by saying how auspicious it is when we hear the Krishna Katha. So that will be the final shloka of the 10th canto. So today, now we can enter into the PowerPoint. Arjuna kidnapping Subhadra is not much. It's a little bit only. But it's beautiful to hear how the Lord reciprocates with his two devotees, the Kshatriya, the king devotee, and the Brahmana devotee. So that we will enter into that now. So I'll open the PowerPoint. Dear devotees, we will see the last PowerPoint of the 10th canto. So this is the one. I'm going to share it. That's Arjuna kidnapping Subhadra. A simple one. Well, Arjuna, he was going on the world tour. So then he comes to Prabhasa Kshetra. And then there he hears that Subhadra is being given to Duryodhana in marriage. But Arjuna wanted to marry Subhadra. So Arjuna, what he does was, he comes in the guise of a sannyasi and he comes to Dwaraka. So he comes to Dwaraka and Lord, yeah, this is better. Yes. He comes to Dwaraka. He comes as Arjuna comes as a sannyasi to Dwaraka, and he spends a Chaturmasya there. So he sees Subhadra Devi there, and of course, Subhadra Devi, she also likes Arjuna. And Lord Krishna knows this all. And the parents of Subhadra also are in agreement for Subhadra to be married to Arjuna. But Balarama was making arrangements to give Subhadra in marriage to Duryodhana. So that was going on. And finally, with the permission of Krishna, Arjuna, exactly as Krishna did to Rukmini Devi in a Rakshasa style, kidnapping the princess, Arjuna does the same to Subhadra Devi. Then Balaram comes to know about it. He becomes very furious. But Krishna, Lord Krishna, he holds the feet of Balarama. And then he pacifies Balarama. And then says how Arjuna is more suitable to Subhadra than Duryodhana. So in that way, Krishna pacifies Balarama, makes him understand. And Balarama, he was okay with that. Then finally, he is also in agreement and he's happy that Subhadra is getting married to Arjuna. So in that way, Subhadra and Arjuna's marriage happens. So that is Arjuna's marriage with Subhadra. Yeah, just a pastime that we have heard. And next comes this pastime of Lord Krishna with Shrutadeva and Bahulashva. Here, dear devotees, Shrutadeva is a poor Brahmana and Bahulashva is a king. Srimad Bhagavatam, Sutadeva is explaining to Parikshit Maharaj how Shrutadeva and Bahulashva are very much liked by Krishna. Krishna really loved these two devotees. Why was it so? Why was it? What made Krishna travel from Dwaraka and come to Mithila along with the sages to meet these two devotees? Sukadeva Goswami says that these two devotees, they were free of ahamkara. They were free of false ego. That's what Sukadeva Goswami was saying. I'm trying to understand, free of false ego, what would it be for a king and for a poor Brahmana? Yeah. So, in the light of our teachings of the Acharyas, free of false ego is, Shrutadeva is a poor Brahmana. And this Brahmana, he was thinking that his maintenance is by the Lord. Lord is his maintainer. And what I am saying now is based on the teachings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura, on the basis of his teachings of Sharanagati, where false ego is absent. When ahamkara is absent, that's where Sharanagati is. A jiva has free will. Jiva has free will. But when jiva voluntarily gives up its free will to the will of the Lord, that's Sharanagati. Voluntarily giving up the will. Oh Lord, your will is my will. That's Sharanagati. So giving up that free will is Sharanagati. So this, what we are now hearing, is based on that teachings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura, of what it means to not have false ego. So, not having false ego is, a person would think like this, the Krishna is a maintainer. So in this case, Shrutadeva is a poor Brahmana. In the absence of false ego, he would think that Krishna is my maintainer and I'm depending on Krishna. Yes, I'm poor, but I am depending on Krishna. Krishna is my maintainer. And he has no anxiety because Krishna is his maintainer. And my only occupation is to glorify Krishna because he's a Brahmana, to broadcast the glories of Krishna. So in this way, he is anxiety-free, fearless, depending on Krishna and doing his original occupation of glorifying Krishna because a Brahmana. That's Shrutadeva. Bahulashva is a king. So what would it be? A false egoless king. Like King Kulashekara, right? So for these kings, they don't see themselves as kings. They see Krishna as the controller. Krishna is the controller. And my occupation is to take care of his citizens. So that's the absence of false ego. So Bahulashva is thinking. His nature is not to see him as enjoyer, but Krishna is the controller. And all these citizens in the kingdom are his people. So I take care of his people according to the religious principles. So this is how Shrutadeva and Bahulashva were conducting themselves as devotees of the Lord without false ego in their own ashrama, in their own varna. One is Brahmana, Shrutadeva, and Bahulashva is the king. Right? And both of them are grihasthas. So it does not really matter which varna do we belong to. If we are brahmachari, which varna and ashrama, varna, if we are a brahmana, or if we are a kshatriya, or a sudra, or a vaishya, whatever our occupation may be, ashraya to the Lord is a natural position of a jiva, right? And that's when the false ego is absent. So whatever our varna may be, and whatever our ashrama may be, Brahman, brahmachari, or grihastha, or vanaprastha, or sannyasa, all of us are all of us can take this position of Sharanagati when there is no false ego, seeing Krishna as the maintainer, Krishna as the controller. So Shrutadeva and Bahulashva, they had this quality of no false ego. So Krishna wanted to come there personally to meet them, and they are in Mithila. So he wanted to not only come personally, but wanted to come with all these sages there. You look at the sages. Bhagavata, Sutta Goswami is actually describing this. He says, the Lord mounted the chariot along with all these sages like Narada and Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, and he also says Parusharama and Bharadwaja and myself. He says that also. Sutta Goswami is also here. So Krishna mounted the chariot, and along with all his sages, he came to Mithila. And in Mithila, as he came, Bahulashva, the king, came to receive him. And Bahulashva is saying, Svavachastadritam kartum asmadriggocharo bhavan yadatta aikanta bhaktan me nananta shrir ajah priyaha. Svavachastad artam tadartam kartum. O Lord, your own words, Svavachas tadartam kartum, to execute your own words, asmad driggocharo bhavan. Asmad, to me, driggocharo bhavan, You have appeared yourself. You are giving your darshan to me. Yad yada aikanta bhaktan mein na ananta shrir ajapriya. Yet aikanta bhaktan mein, the devotees who do ekanta bhakti, ananya bhakti to you, to see them, you are prioritizing to see your aikanta bhaktas. You are prioritizing over anantaha, the sesha. Ananta sesha, Shrir, Lakshmi Devi, Aja, Brahma, Priya. So you are making your own words true, and you are executing your words by giving your darshan to me and proving that the Ananya Bhaktas are very dear to you, and they are even more dear than Sesha, Ananta Sesha, Lakshmi Devi, and Brahma. Bahulashva is saying this to the Lord. So how wonderful it is that you are coming here to make your words true. You are executing your words, dear Lord. And then he says, Ko nu tvacharanam bhojam evam vidvisrajet puman nishkinchananam shantanam muninam yastvam atmadam. Ko nu tvacharanam bhojam evam vidvisrajet puman. Who? Kono, who? Tvacharanam bhojam, your lotus feet. Evam with Visrajet Puman, who will desert, Visrajet is deserting, who will desert your lotus feet, O Lord? Nishkinchananam, Shantanam, Muninam, Yastvam Atmada. Your lotus feet, you give your lotus feet, Atmada, to whom? Nishkinchananam, who thinks that they don't have anybody, anything in this world. No? And they do not have any upadis. So whoever thinks that they don't have anything or anyone in this world, Shantanam, who are always peaceful, Muninam, the sages. So to these devotees, you give your lotus feet. So who would not take your lotus feet, O Lord? And this is what Bahulashva is saying. Here, dear devotees, Bahulashva is saying that this lotus feet, the Lord gives his lotus feet to these devotees. Nishkinchananam, Shantanam, Munina. So when we are anchoring and depending on something else and someone else other than the lotus feet, then the lotus feet is a little more far faint background to us, because we have anchor and we have dependence on something else, someone else. We are not Nishkinchanana. And because our anchor is on something else, someone else, something external, then since that is an unstable platform, it's not easy to be Shantana, because unstable platform is wavering. There is no Shanta there. So lotus feet is a stable platform. So when we are wanting only the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, then that is Nishkinchananam, only your lotus feet, my Lord. That stable, soothing platform, my Lord. Then with it comes Shantana. Yeah. So this is what Bahulashva, King Bahulashva is saying. So to them you are giving your lotus feet. Who would not want your lotus feet, my Lord? These are the prayers of Bahulashva, welcoming him and then glorifying the lotus feet of Lord Hari. And he also says this, dear devotees. Here it is not there in the slide, but when you read Srimad Bhagavatam, it's so beautifully said. Bahulashva says, after saying this prayer, he says, you are sitting right in the heart, O Lord. Yeah. He said this, Muninam Yastvam Atmada. You are sitting right in the heart. But you become so distant for somebody who is agitated with material entanglement. He says that. He says that one too. So in this way, you are very close, but you become distant when there is agitation because of material entanglement. And after that, he says, Nishkinchananam Shantanam. So one who takes shelter of your lotus feet as if not looking for any other shelter, and to that peaceful people, then your lotus feet are available. That King Bahulashva says those. And then comes Shrutadeva. But what happens is, dear devotees, the Lord is coming with all these sages. He got out of the chariot, and behind them, all these sages are walking. And Bahulashva is the king of Mithila. And there is Shrutadeva also. He is the citizen. He is the poor Brahmana. So all of them are present there. And as a king, he offered these words, these greetings, and he said, "Oh Lord, please come to our place to accept our services." He says that, Bahulashva. And Shrutadeva is also there. Shrutadeva is also there, and he is also welcoming, and he also says, "Oh Lord, yes, please come to my humble ashram. We want to serve you too." So up until then, Lord is there with all these sages. And then, because both his devotees are asking, please come, then the Lord, he expanded himself into two. So with one expansion came to Bahulashva, and the other expansion walked to Shrutadeva simultaneously. And it is explained, Sukadeva Goswami was explaining, as the Lord, so after welcoming like this, Bahulashva, he sees that all the sages there behind the Lord are fatigued from long travel. And Bahulashva, he arranged, he ordered his servants there to arrange good seating for all these devotees. Not only the Lord and all the devotees behind him. And then welcomed, he offered nice seating to them, along with the Lord, to other devotees also behind, and then washed their feet also, after washing the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and then offered the garlands and often the chandan, flowers like that. So as he greeted the Lord, he greeted the other devotees also that accompanied the Lord, King Bahulashva. After attending to all of them, then it is beautifully said. Sukadeva Goswami says, King Bahulashva, he held the two lotus feet of the Lord, and then he held the two lotus feet of the Lord in his lap, Bahulashva, and he was wiping them. He was wiping them gently, and then he was saying these prayers. This is what he was saying as he is wiping the lotus feet of the Lord gently. Konu tvacharanam bhojam evam vidvisrajet puman nishkinchananam shantanam muninam yastvam atmadam. Like that. So in this way, King Bahulashva received all the sages, all these devotees, along with the Lord. That's one more thing, dear devotees. Here we have heard about Nishkinchanana, our take-heart point. When we are taking shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Hari, and which is a very soothing and stable platform, then the Shantanam is there. Yeah. And here the other take-home is, King Bahulashva, he not only welcomed and worshipped and washed the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, but all the devotees that accompanied the Lord. Yeah. So this specific point, Lord Krishna will mention with Shrutadeva very soon. So that is to note not only the Lord, but the pure devotees that are accompanying the Lord. The devotees that are accompanying the Lord. They were also respected and worshipped. And on the other side, now Krishna with the sages is coming to Shrutadeva. Shrutadeva is a poor Brahmana. There, Bahulashva could arrange very opulently to receive all the sages and arrange the seating and opulent reception and the garland and the fragrant sandalwood, all that. But Shrutadeva doesn't have all this. He's just a poor Brahmana. Seeing the Lord coming towards him and the sages behind him, Shrutadeva, he at the distance, he bowed down to all of them and he was jumping with joy. He took up his chadar and waving in the air and jumping up and down with the joy as a welcome to all of them. And it is said that as he jumped with the joy and as the Lord and all these devotees came, Shrutadeva took all of them to their humble ashram, humble home, the hut there. He didn't have enough kusha grass mats also to offer to all those devotees. So he borrowed some from the neighbors. And in that way, he spread the kusha grass and he welcomed and gave them the seat. And what did he give? He gave some sweet words and some fruits. The wife was also there. Family members were there. What did they offer? Simple fruits and kusha grass. That's all. But so much of sweet words. And it was also said, where was it? Yeah, here only. How his face was so joyful. Heart was also so joyful seeing the Lord and his devotees coming. So all this was offering of Shrutadeva. His joy in the face, joy in the heart, and just the kusha grass that was there and some fruits. That's all. So in their own capacity, Bahulashva welcomed the Lord and the devotees in his capacity. He was also joyfully greeting, and Shrutadeva in his own capacity. So what matters in welcoming the Lord? In welcoming the Lord is our mood. Our mood. Oh, Krishna, you are coming for us. You are coming for us. Huh? That mood. And whatever that we could offer, patram pushpam phalam thoyam. So it's more about our eagerness in welcoming the Lord. And our joy in receiving him. Eagerness in welcoming the Lord and joy in receiving him. This reminds us of, Sri Sikshashtakam, the very first verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The first verse is meant to invoke this, the eagerness in receiving the Nam Prabhu, Harinam Prabhu, and the joy in receiving him, the gratitude and joy in receiving him. So, Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpitani Amita Smaranena Kalaha Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durtaiva Midrishamiha Janinanuraga. Oh Lord, you have come. You are here. I'm very eager to receive you. I'm very grateful. I'm very joyful that you are here for my sake. So, eagerness in receiving the Lord and joy in receiving the Lord. So, Shrutadeva also received like that. And it is explained. He also washes the lotus feet of the Lord and washes all the sages, the devotees' feet also, and then holding the lotus feet of the Lord in his hands. Here, the Lord actually holds the hands of Shruta Deva. Yeah, and then Shruta Deva, he is addressing the Lord, and he says, Shrinvatam Gadatam Shashvat Archatam Tvabhivandatam Nranam Samvadatam Antar Hridibhasi Amalatmanam. Shruta Deva is saying this to the Lord. Shrinvatam Gadatam Shashvat Archatam Tvabhivandatam. Who Hridi Bhasi Amalatmanam, those devotees who are Amalatmanam, spotless heart, those devotees who has Hridi, the heart that is spotless. Yeah, they are simply absorbed in Shrinvatam, Gadatam, Shashvat, Archatam, Tvabhivandatam, in hearing about you, in glorifying you, in thinking of you, in bowing down to you, O Lord. And Antar Hridibhasi Amalatmanam. So these devotees, they are spotless in the heart. And that's why their interest is only in relishing your hearing, your glorifying, and in remembering you, my Lord. He says that. Shrutadeva. It's very similar, right? Bahulashva, he was saying, Nishkinchananam Shantanam, Nishkinchananam. These devotees, they don't think that they have anything outside. Here, Hridibhasi Amalatmanam. Their heart is spotless, pure. And this is why they were able to absorb thoroughly in Shrinvatam, Gadatam, Shashvat, because they don't have any other thought, any other subject for absorption, but just the Lord. Yeah. So a spotless heart. These are Amalatmanam, pure devotees. So Shrutadeva was also glorifying like that. And then he asks, he tells, he actually speaks with the Lord. He says, Oh Lord, you are coming now in person. So I'm not just thinking of you now only. I've been thinking of you. You've been there since the before the creation and beginning of the creation. So I've been always thinking of you, just that you are here in person. How is all this possible? Right, dear devotees? Same Bahulashva and Shrutadeva. Because remember, why is Krishna coming to see them in person? They don't have this false ego. And they are ashrita. Krishna is their maintainer. And they're seeing Krishna as the controller. They're seeing Krishna as everything as Krishna's. And so that's why all these words are coming out very naturally from Bahulashva and Shrutadeva. And that's why Lord Krishna has come to see them also. So Shrutadeva is now saying, after saying these words, yeah, I always think of you. And he goes, oh Lord, your lotus feet is so glorious, so precious. I want to serve this lotus feet always. What is the service that I can do for you, my Lord? This is the question Shrutadeva asked to the Lord, dear devotees. Then Lord Krishna gives him this instruction to Shrutadeva. So Shrutadeva, in order to see Shrutadeva, Lord has come personally. And not only him, but he brought all the other sages, the devotees with him. And Shrutadeva had an opportunity to invite the Lord and to worship the Lord. And now he's asking, how can I serve you, my Lord? How can I please you? And what is the Lord saying? Devaha kshetrani tirthani darshana sparshanachanaihi Shanai punanti kalena tadapi arhatamekshaya. The Lord is saying, oh Shrutadeva, Devaha, the deities in the temple, Kshetrani, these pilgrimages, yeah, the Punya Kshetras, Tirdhani, these Nadi Tirthas, the sacred waters, Darshana, Sparshana, Archanaihi. One may do the archana of the temple deities. One may do darshana of the kshetras. To go on to the pilgrimages and see there. Take the darshan of the pilgrimages, the tirthastalis, and sparshana. Dip in the sacred waters. By doing that, shanai punanti kalena. Shanai gradually punanti gets purified kalena over a period of time. Tad api, all that purification that can happen with the above, arhatta me ikshaya. Arhatta, these pure devotees, ikshaya, glance. Just with the glance of a pure devotee, all that purification that can happen over a period of time, over a long period of time, by worshipping the deities, by going to the Punya Kshetras, and by dipping in the sacred waters and gradually getting purified over a long period of time. All that purification of time, a purification that happens gradually over a period of time, happens just with the glance of a pure devotee. That's what Lord Krishna is saying. That's why you see the pure devotees that are there, that I brought. I actually brought them here so you can have their darshan. And their foot dust sanctifies all the tirtha kshetras. So you worship these pure devotees. This is what the Lord is saying. The Lord is sitting right there, and the devotee is asking, how can I serve you? And this is where it comes. Worshipping the devotee of the Lord. Lord considers that as more dear than worshipping himself, him directly. So the Lord is what he is personally endorsing these pure devotees to be worshipped. In the 11th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord Krishna is saying to Uddhava, Acharyam mam vijaniyan navamanyeta karhichit namatya buddhya asuyeta sarvadevai guru namatya buddhya asuyeta sarvadevamaye guru. So Lord Krishna is saying, Acharya mam avijananti. Know that Acharya is myself. Yasya prasado bhagavat prasada. Yasya aprasado nagati kutopi. Right? So that know that Acharya is myself. And navamanyeta karhichit. Never do any avamana, insult to the Acharya. And namatya buddhya asuyeta. Look at these devotees behind Lord Krishna. They also look like a person, a human being, right? So the acharyas, all these pure devotees, they also look like ordinary people. Like, right? Namatya buddhya asuyeta. Don't be envious to them, thinking that they are just mortal beings. Sarva devamayo guru. In that guru are all the demigods residing. So this is the endorsement of the Lord, endorsement of the pure devotees by the Lord. So it's like endorsement of Guru Tattva by Bhagavat Tattva. Yeah. And what happens is when we are seeing Acharya Mam Vijayanti, when we are seeing Acharya as the Lord himself, Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastra, then we value, because he is not different from the Lord Acharya, then whatever he's saying, we value. Whatever he is giving, we value. We value the Harinama that is being given to us. We value the instructions that are being given to us. So we value the Vani that is given by the Acharyas. So as much as we value the Acharya and that is given by the Acharya, then so much is the Lord available. Yasya prasado Bhagavat prasada. So this is the purport of Lord endorsing the pure devotees. Yeah, so that is one thing, dear devotees. That's about Shrutadeva. Yeah, so that's the meeting of Bahulashva and Shrutadeva. Yeah. And now coming to the next one, the prayers of personified Vedas. Here, the question comes to Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sukadeva Goswami, "Oh Guruvarya, this is my question. See, the Shrutis, Vedas are generally, they are more to do with the three words, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nishtraigunya Bhavarchana. So most part of the Vedas is about the material modes and how to get the most out of these material modes. Then how is that Vedas can describe the glories of the Lord? How is it they can word the Nirguna, the transcendental form of the Lord who is not touched by the modes? That was the question of Parikshit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami. Then Sukadeva Goswami says, exactly, this question was asked by Narada Muni to Naranarayana sage, Naranarayana Rishi. And then Naranarayana Rishi, when Narada asked this question to Naranarayana Rishi, he said, "Oh Narada Muni, this very question was the subject matter of discussion in Janaloka once upon a time." Janaloka is the place of the sages, Sanak, Sanat, and Sanandana. All the sons of Brahma, mental sons of Brahma, the sons that are born from the mind of Brahma, they are present there. The contemplation of Brahma present there in Janaloka. So Naranarayana Muni is saying, "Oh Narada, you are asking this question. This question was the subject matter of discussion in Janaloka. At that time, you were not there in Janaloka because Narada Muni is also the son of Brahma, right? But you were not there in Janaloka at that time. You actually went to Svetadvipa to take darshan of the Lord. But this was the subject matter of discussion there. So all those sages there in Janaloka, they wanted to hear about this subject matter. So they chose one among them, and that was Sanat Kumara. So they have asked Sanat Kumara to please speak on this subject matter of how it is possible for the Vedas to glorify the Lord who is beyond the words. And then Sanat Kumara started speaking. This is what Sanat Kumara was speaking. So Sanat Kumara, he was speaking that these Vedas, personification of Vedas are Shrutis. They are the personification of Vedas. It is said that all these Vedas, Sanat Kumara is speaking. Sanandana, actually, not Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana. So Sanandana is speaking now. So he's saying, after the end of the creation, after the end of the life of Brahma, then Mahavishnu, he withdrew all his material elements and he looked like he was resting. And to wake up from his sleep, all the Vedas, they took the form personified Vedas, and they're called Shrutis. Shruti. So they started waking up the Lord. And that waking up of the Lord is the prayers by Shrutis, prayers by personified Vedas. And what are those prayers? So those prayers are this. In summary, these Vedas, they are waking up the Lord by saying, "Oh, the Lord, you have this, you manifest in the form of Brahman, you manifest in the form of Super Soul, and you manifest in the form of Bhagavan. Yeah. And the jiva is subordinate to you. And there are many theories that come and try to explain your existence, but they don't really withstand, because what theories were existing, who were existing when there was no creation, and who were existing when there was only destruction? Nobody. So all these theories and the different sages proposed, the Shad Darshana that we have heard in the very beginning of Bhagavatam, they don't hold good. It's only the devotional service that existed before, that is existing, and that will continue to exist. So bhakti is very much superior, and jiva is the subordinate to you, my Lord. So in this way, the personified Vedas, they started glorifying the Lord, and they were waking up the Lord, so-called waking up the Lord from his sleep. That is before the start of the next creation. So those are the prayers of personified Vedas. Yeah, a little more description of how temporary this material world is. But all in all, they glorify bhakti. And so that was Sanandana speaking. And then this was coming from the mouth of Naranarayana Rishi to Narada Muni for his question. And Narada Muni pays his respect at the end of hearing all this from Naranarayana Rishi. He says, Namastasmai Bhagavate Krishnaya Amalakirtaye Yo Dhatte Sarva Bhutanam Abhavayo Sateh Kalaha. So Narada Muni, interestingly, he was paying his obeisances to Krishna as the source of everything, though Naranarayana Rishi were there. Yeah. So he was paying obeisance to Krishna as a source of everything. And then he thanks Naranarayana and pays respects to them also. So this was the answer Sukadeva Goswami gave to Parikshit Maharaj, the prayers of the personified Vedas. And the next topic, the last but one topic that we have, we thought we will hear today, the supremacy of Krishna over Vishnu, over Lord Shiva and Brahma. How is that? How is that? We are going to hear. We are going to hear through the pastimes. But what is it, the tattva behind that? We will hear the tattva, but let's hear the pastimes first. Sukadeva Goswami. So after hearing this personified Vedas, the prayers of the personified Vedas, then the discussion came of how Lord Hari is Lord Shiva is easily pleased and easily disturbed, and Lord Hari is not like that. And also Parikshit Maharaj asks this question. Okay, Guruvarya, I have this question. See, all the worshippers of Lord Shiva, yeah, they are very opulent. Lord Shiva doesn't really have anything, only bhasma in the crematorium. But his worshippers, they seem to be very opulent with material opulence, as opposed to Lord Vishnu, who is actually full of opulence in the Vaikuntha. He is a lord of opulence. But his devotees, they don't seem to have this. They are beyond this opulence. Actually, they don't seem to have this opulence. Why is it like that? It is puzzling. That's what Parikshit Maharaj asked to Sukadeva Goswami. Then Sukadeva Goswami, okay, it's not detailed here, but what Sukadeva Goswami says is that Lord Shiva, when Lord Vishnu wants to interact with Prakriti, then he comes as Lord Shiva, right? Shambhu, we have heard that. Since Lord Shiva interacts with Prakriti and gives rise to Ahamkara, and from Ahamkara comes these three modes, and from the three modes comes all these material elements. And all this material opulence are nothing but material elements. So all the devotees who worship Lord Shiva, they are bestowed with these material elements because Shiva is acting through these material elements. That's why the devotees of Lord Shiva have these material opulences, because Shiva is acting through the material elements. And then Lord Vishnu, he is beyond the material elements. And he says this, Sukadeva Goswami. Harirhi nirguna sakshat purusha prakrite paraha sasarvatrit upadrishtaha tam bhajan nirguno bhavet. Harihi nirguna sakshat. He doesn't have these gunas. He's beyond modes. Purusha prakrite para. Para, beyond Purusha and Prakrita. And he does not have these modes, contamination of these modes. Sasarvadrik upadrishta. He is supervising from above. He's not touched by the modes, beyond the modes. Tam bhajan, whoever does the bhajan of Hari, nirguno bhavet. That's why they also reach the transcendence, because Hari is located in transcendence beyond the modes. So that's the answer of Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit, of why the devotees of Lord Hari doesn't seem to have material opulence. That was Parikshit's question. But how beautifully Sukadeva Goswami is saying, yes, they don't, because they don't get materially entangled. They transcend the material elements, because Lord Hari is situated transcendentally, so they also go to the transcendental position. So in this way, Sukadeva Goswami has very beautifully explained how the devotees of Lord Hari do not get entangled materially, but go beyond the modes and situated transcendentally, like that. And the next one is on the same terms, that the devotees of the Lord Shiva, they worship him, and in turn Lord Shiva bestows them material opulence. It's because he is dealing with them through the material elements we have just discussed, right? The modes, 3 modes, and then material elements. So in that context, it is said that Lord Shiva and Brahma also, they are satisfied easily and they are angered easily. So on that page, Sukadeva Goswami comes to this next pastime of Lord Shiva with Vrikasura. Okay, actually, before coming to this pastime, there's one beautiful shloka that Lord Krishna says. Here, you know, when Sukadeva Goswami said, so this is how the devotees of Lord Hari, they don't seem to have material assets, but they go to transcendence. And then he mentions, this is the same thing that Achyuta mentioned to your forefather Yudhishthira. What did he say? Lord Krishna, he was saying to Yudhishthira, what was he saying? Yasyaham anugrahnami harishye tadhanam shanaihi tato adhanam tyajanti asya swajana dukkha dukkhitam. Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse. And this verse actually can shake up the devotees. Lord Krishna is saying, Yasyaham anugrahnami. If I am very specially merciful on somebody, harishye tadhanam shanaihi, I will see that they're bereft of their wealth. Tato adhanam tyajanti asya. When they are bereft of the wealth, then their family members disrespect them and then they leave them. Tyajanti asya swajana. Dukkha dukkhitam. So in this way, one after the other, they will have these challenges. Lord Krishna is saying this. And this is my special mercy. Looks like, whoa, Krishna. This, I was hearing some katha on that. This happens only to those devotees who can take it. It doesn't happen to the sadhakas, who are not there yet. This is for the chosen people, for the chosen devotees who has a special mercy, like Srila Prabhupada. And that's why Srila Prabhupada mentions this shloka, how he was still contemplating of how to his Guru Maharaj's instruction, how to execute his Guru Maharaj's instruction. And then he was describing about his life, Srila Prabhupada, how one after the other things happen, and how, how his then wife, had to sell his writings on Bhagavad Gita for some tea powder or something like that. So in that context, Srila Prabhupada mentions this, how Krishna has orchestrated everything. And he took one after the other and paved his path to execute the order of his Guru Maharaj. And then Srila Prabhupada says, looking back, I see this is what Krishna did to me. He was specially merciful to me. So this shloka is for that special cadre devotees who are preparing themselves to receive this kind of mercy. This kind of mercy is Srinattam Das Thakur says Chittar. Chittete Korea Aikya. Yeah. Chittete Korea Aikya. Shri Guru Charana Padma. Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Vandamui Savadana Mate. Yahara Prasade Bai. Ye Bhavatu Yatahai. Arana Kuri Homana. Asha. Shri Guru Charane Rati. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. Chittete Korea Aikya. So whoever is preparing themselves to devote this whole life, every moment, for Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Koriya Akya Yasyaham Anugrahnam. And dear devotees, this may look like, oh, Lord Krishna is taking away one after the other. And the other thing is, that's there in Sri Sikshashtakam, where the devotee is voluntarily detaching. I mean, voluntarily detaching will not happen. There is so much of akarshana, attraction to the Lord within. Nadanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhakti ahaitu tvai. When there is so much of eagerness and attachment and relishment in the loving service to the Lord, that deep attachment to the loving service of the Lord will automatically make a devotee detached to Dhanam Janam Kavitam Sundarim. That's the beauty of Gaurachandra. How beautifully he put it there. Nadanam na Janam na Sundarim. I do not want those. Here Lord Krishna is saying, I will take them away. But the same words when Krishna is coming as Gaurachandra, how sweet are they? He's saying, no, the devotees don't want them because they want only loving service to the lotus feet of Govinda. So that's why they voluntarily, no, they just give away because they want only Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatat Bhakti Ahaitu Kitvai. Same thing, Gaurachandra, how beautifully he said, Krishna Chandra, this is why, His Holiness Srimad Gaur Govinda Maharaja, he states that Krishna is like a kacha mango, green mango. It's hard. It's hard to relish. But Gaura Sundara is a ripened mango, like golden in color. The same words by Krishna, when it comes from the words of Gaurachandra, it makes us want to have it. So that's one thing, dear devotees. Yeah, so that is about yeah, What are we talking about? We are hearing about, the worship of Lord Vishnu and what happens to the devotees of Lord Vishnu. Uh, and we also heard about what would the devotees of Gaurachandra want. That also we have heard. So after that, so the next story is like, so why is it Lord, Lord Shiva is easily agitated and easily pleased? On that note, Sukadeva Goswami is narrating this story of Vritrasura, how Vrikasura. So Vrikasura was an asura, and he he went to Narada Muni and he wanted to know who he has to worship because he wants some boons. Of course, Narada Muni, he instructs his various disciples in different modes depending upon which mode they are in. So Narada Muni directs them, oh yeah, then you should worship Shiva, Lord Shiva. He's easily pleased. See, he was pleased with Ravana and he was quoting all the Lord Shiva devotees. So that's how, so you should Jarasandha. Yeah, he was pleased with Jarasandha. He was pleased with Ravana. How easily? So you should worship Shiva, Lord Shiva. So Vrikasura, he was worshipping Shiva, and their worship is pakka in mode of ignorance, the violence. He was cutting his flesh, and he was offering his pieces of flesh in the ahuti to the fire. That fire is considered as the mouth of Lord Shiva. So he was offering his pieces of flesh to the fire, which is mouth of Lord Shiva. He was doing it. I think he did it for about 7 days, but Lord Shiva did not come. Why would he want to come? Yeah, he has to give boon to these asuras, but Vrikasura, Vrikasura. Finally, he decided to just offer his head in the fire. So that's what he was about to do. And then Lord Shiva, he comes out of the fire, holds the arms of Vrikasura while he was going to cut his throat. Just by the touch of Lord Shiva, Vrikasura's body comes back to normal. All the pieces that were gone, it comes back to normal. And then Lord Shiva asks, okay, now stop, please. Stop this violence. Don't torture yourself much. You could have just given some water. That was also enough. Why all this violence? What do you want? Okay, what I want is this. Whoever I place my hand on, they should die. They should become ashes. Lord Shiva, again, we have to remember Shiva Tattva is complex. He's not Jiva Tattva. He's not Vishnu Tattva. He's special. But when he's playing the role of demigod, then like Brahma, Lord Shiva also comes and he has to give certain boons. That is in the role of demigod. And that is what the pastime we are hearing. So Lord Shiva says, okay, tadastu, fine. And immediately what Vrikasura does is, he wanted to test if the boon of Lord Shiva is working, if that is true. So Vrikasura says, okay. Until then he goes, oh Lord Shiva, yes, yeah, you are the best. Can you please give me the boon? I want this boon. And after Lord Shiva says tadastu, and then Vrikasura bursts into laughter, the demoniac laughter. He goes, yes, now that you gave me the boon, I want to bring you down into ashes and be with Parvati Devi. That was Vrikasura. So then Lord Shiva is like, Lord Shiva, he starts running away from Vrikasura because he has given this boon. And if Vrikasura puts his hand on Lord Shiva, then he would become ashes. So that's why Lord Shiva starts running all the worlds, and he goes towards the Shweta where Lord Vishnu resides. Seeing that Lord Shiva is running towards him, Lord Vishnu could understand what was happening. Immediately he takes form of a small, cute Brahmana boy and goes to Vrikasura. Okay. And then he says, oh, Vrikasura, wait a minute, why are you running, huh? Then he goes, what he tells whatever has happened. See, Lord Shiva gave me this boon, and I wanted to test if this works or not, and that's why I wanted to place this hand on his head. And then this little Brahmana boy says, "Oh, Vrakasura, you are really a fool. You think Lord Shiva, his boons work? Since Daksha, huh? Since Daksha has cursed him, Lord Shiva, he's acting like ghosts and goblins, as you know, as one of his associates. So don't really think his boons work. You don't even have to think twice. If you want, you just put that head on that your hand on your head. It wouldn't work. You can test that." And he speaks so enchantingly, this Brahmana. And then Vrakasura thinks, "Oh, of course. So yeah, looks like that. So maybe it doesn't work." And he keeps his hand on his own head, and he gets burned to ashes. So in this way, Lord Shiva is rescued by Lord Vishnu here. Again, Lord Shiva is a Shiva Tattva, but this role is as a demigod. Okay. And this is saying how establishing that Vishnu Tattva is superior to Shiva Tattva. And next comes, there is one more. Yeah, this is there. Yeah, this one, Bhrigu. Next story is this. All these sages, where was that? In Naimisharanya. Yeah. They were discussing, and they wanted to know who is superior, who is more worshipable. Is it Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Lord Vishnu? So they were all discussing. Then they elected Bhrugumuni. They wanted Bhrugumuni to please establish who is more worshipable. And Bhrugumuni says, "Okay, easy, no problem. I'll get back to you soon." And then Bhrugumuni goes to Brahmaloka. Wow, there's not too many slides. Okay, just on this slide. We'll go ahead. So Bhrugumuni goes to Brahmaloka. When he goes to Brahmaloka, Bhrugumuni is actually the son of Brahma. So the etiquette is generally when the son goes to the father, they bow down and they say some respectful words. Bhrugumuni doesn't do that. He goes to Brahma, and in his mind, he's thinking, "I will not respect you." That is what he was thinking in his mind about his father Brahma. Brahma understands that. And he's not bowing down, but in his mind, he was not respecting Brahma. Brahma gets so angry. Naturally expected, right? All the time he was used to his son coming down, bowing down, and giving some glorifying words, and he comes now, and in the mind he's thinking, "I will not respect Brahma." That's what he thought. How dare he does that? Brahma was thinking, he becomes very angry, but he controls his anger with his intelligence. So he gets agitated. With anger, he gets agitated, Brahma, but he controls the agitation. Okay, Bhrigumuni got it. He understood that Brahma was agitated. And then he goes to, are there no slides here? Yeah, no slides. So he goes to Shivaloka. There, Lord Shiva was with Parvati Devi. And when Bhrigumuni was walking towards them, Lord Shiva happily gets up. And then Bhrigumuni is like a brother to Lord Shiva, because Lord Shiva, Rudra, was born from Brahma too, like that. So Lord Shiva goes to Bhrigumuni to embrace him, like a brotherly embrace. And Bhrigumuni says, wait. You are so contaminated. You are not clean. I don't want to hug you. Shiva gets very angry because that was an insult. So Lord Shiva also gets agitated. Yeah. And so there Bhrigumuni insulted Brahma with his thought. Here, Brigumani insulted Lord Shiva with his words, saying that you are unclean, untouchable. No, 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 don't come to me. You belong to crematorium. And then Brigumani goes straight to Shwetadeepa. Yeah. There, he just goes straight. There is no appointment that was given. There's no prayers that are offered. Generally when even Brahma, when he goes to Shwetadeepa, he has to offer prayers and the Lord will appear. But Brigumani, he just goes to Shwetadeepa, and there Lord Narayana, he was resting his head in the lap of Mother Parvati, and he was lying on the Seshasai. Brigumani goes directly, kicks the Lord on his chest, and then the Lord opens his eyes, and then quickly the Lord gets out of his Ananta Seshasayana, and Lakshmi Devi also gets out of that Seshasayana, and the Lord immediately places his head, bows down, places his head at the feet of Brigumani and says, so sorry, Brigumani, holding his feet. Feet of Brigumani. Holding his feet, he says, oh Brigumani, oh Brahmana, I am so sorry. I did not notice when you came here, and my chest is really hard, and you have you touch my chest. I hope your feet is not hurt when you kicked on my chest, and you actually purified my chest by kicking on my chest. From this day on, because you have purified my chest with the touch of your lotus feet, Lakshmi Devi will reside on my chest. I am so sorry that I have not noticed your coming here. Now, would you please take your seat here on this Sayana? These are the words of Lord Narayana. It's not about not getting agitated. What was Lord Narayana doing? So Brigumani had nothing to say but had tears in his eyes. He bows down to Narayana, goes back to Naimisharanya, and he tells about what has happened. In this way, they have come to a conclusion that the most worshipable Lord is Narayana because he has the most tolerance with no agitation. So that is the pastime. There, dear devotees, this pastime, Lord Narayana, here we saw the three things, right? Agitating with the thought, agitating with the word, and agitating with the action. That's what Brigumani did. So agitation to other person, it is possible that one can agitate other person by these three means. And how wonderfully the Lord showed not only not getting agitated, but respecting the agitator. It's like he's worshipping the agitator. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter, he says about this. Yasman no dvijate loko, lokan no dvijate chayaha, harsha marsha bhayo dvegai, mukto ma sachame priyaha. Oof. Lord Krishna is saying, this is about agitation. Yasma no dvijate loko, loka no dvijate chaya. Whoever does not agitate others and is not agitated by others. Now by this time we know how agitation can happen through the thought, through the word, and through the action. Not being agitated by the thought of others, by the words of others, and by the action of others, and not agitating anyone by our thought, our word, and our action. And Harsha Marsha Bhayodvegair Mukto Ma Sachame Priyaha. Harsha, not being agitated by happiness, not being agitated. Harsha Marsha Bhayodvegai Mukto Ma Sachame Priya. Mukti is liberation, free of. Yeah. So free of agitation in Harsha, happiness, Marsha, sorrow, miseries. Yeah. Not getting agitated in happiness, not getting agitated in miseries, and Harsha, Marsha, Bhayodvegai. Yeah. Not having the agitation of fear. Udvega is agitation. Right. Yeah. So not being agitated by any of these things. Whoever is not agitated by this, and first one is whoever is not agitating others, and whoever is not agitated by others. That's one thing. And who stays undisturbed through happiness, through misery, and bhaya and udvega. Yeah, in the fear and in the agitation. In these conditions, whoever stays undisturbed is very dear to me. This is what Lord Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. He's not just saying, he actually showed to us Lord Narayana bowing down, putting his feet at the feet of Bhrigu, who is a mortal being. Wow! The magnanimity of the Lord, huh? He just simply did not say in Bhagavad Gita, he showed it. And he showed it, and Gaura Sundara, when Lord comes in the form of Gaurachandra, he's showing his exemplary behavior is even more relatable to us. We don't have Bhrigu around. Lord Narayana is four-armed. Yes, very wonderful in that setting. The Lord has done that. But what did the Lord do with Prakashananda Saraswati in the washing area, right? In the feet washing area, we are hearing in Chaitanya Charitamrita in the morning. That is really yasman no dvijate loko, loka no dvijate chaya. So that's the beauty. That's beautiful, and dear devotees. That's what I just wanted to bring to our attention. So in this way, Lord Narayana is most worshipable because he was not agitated. He's beyond agitation there, of course. And the other thing we have to understand is behind this pastime. So what? So this is regarding Yasman Nojito Loka. That's what we have heard. And the next thing is, so Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they are also the devotees of the Lord. So the other explanation of Acharyas is Brahma and Lord Shiva knew that Bhrigu is coming this way, and voluntarily they withdrew in the competition because they wanted the Supreme Lord to be established as the Supreme Lord because he is Supreme Lord. That's one more explanation that Acharyas gave, because Lord Shiva getting agitated is something not usual. He did not get agitated even when Daksha cursed. He was deep in the meditation. Yeah, he was like, Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam Yadiyate Tatra Pumana Pavrita Satvecha Tasmin Bhagavan Vasudeve He Adokshajomi Namasa Vidhiyate. Where was that agitation in Lord Shiva? It wasn't there. So that's why the other explanation is that these two deities, the Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, voluntarily withdrew because they knew the supremacy of the Lord Narayana and they wanted that to be established. Okay. So in this way, we have seen that Lord Narayana is superior to Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. And now comes the next story in crisply. There was a Brahmana in Dwaraka, and this Brahmana's son is dying soon after birth. So the first son was brought to King Ugrasena's court. And then Brahmana was saying, it is because of you, the rulers, Ugrasena. It's because you are committing some sins. That's why we, the Brahmanas, um, are are reaping the result of you unqualified rulers, Kshatriyas. Because in those days, if the Kshatriyas, the kings, are not qualified, then the citizens would face the difficulties. So that's why Brahmana has come, and he was saying this to Ugrasena. He brought the dead child, the first dead child, to King Ugrasena's court. All the Yadus were there, and the Brahmana um, was speaking those words to Ugrasena and calling him as unqualified rulers, Kshatriyas, like that. So that was the first one, the dead son. Like that, this Brahmana, the second, third, fourth, fifth, the sixth, the seventh, eighth, all those child, the child that was born was immediately dead for no reason. So all this time, this Brahmana was going to Yadu's assembly, Sudharma assembly, and he was cursing Ugrasena like that. In the ninth time, was that the ninth one? Yeah, I think it's the ninth son. Death of the son, 8th or 9th. Okay, yeah, 9th, I think. Yeah, when the 9th son was also dead, and when he was saying the same thing, at that time Arjuna was present in Dwaraka, in the Sudarshana hall, along with the other Yadus. Yeah, I think it's the same time, Arjuna married Subhadra, right? He was on the world tour. So at that time, Arjuna was there. And then, so Arjuna heard these words of Brahmana. And then Arjuna stood up again. This is in Sudarshana. This is the assembly of Yadus. Ugrasena is the king. Arjuna stood up and saying, "Oh, poor Brahmana, you are so worshipable. I am so surprised that there is no Kshatriya here to give you the protection. What to do? Well, I can give you the protection." Arjuna is saying this in the assembly of Sudarshana, Sudama assembly. And this Brahmana goes, "What are you talking, Arjuna? Here is Ugrasena sitting, okay. But do you see there? Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. All those lords are sitting there. They are not saying anything. But you stand up and you are saying that you would do something that those mighty lords cannot do?" Brahmana asked this question. And you know what Arjuna says, dear devotees? Arjuna says this: "I am not Vasudeva, I am not Sankarshana, I am not Pradyumna, I am not Aniruddha, but I am Arjuna." Can you believe? I am Arjuna, the possessor of Gandiva Bhava. So have faith in me. I will come and protect you. I don't belong to Yadu dynasty. I belong to Kuru dynasty, and I am Arjuna. I will protect. Arjuna actually said these words, and he says, "If I cannot do that, I will enter into the fire and kill myself." Okay, there you go, the 10th. And he says, "Please inform me when your wife is about to give birth to your next child, inform me. I will come and protect the child." Arjuna says that. Okay, now the Brahmana's wife, pregnant with the 10th child, and is about to give the birth to this child. And Arjuna is informed, and Arjuna comes. He does come, and the maternity house of this Brahmana wife. Yeah. So he is guarding the maternity house, and he covers the whole maternity house with the arrows, with all his arrows as a protection. And the child is born, and the child's cry is also heard. But all of a sudden, the child disappears into the sky. And then Brahmana, he chastises Arjuna like anything. "What do you think you are? Huh? Why did you say all those? Something that all these 4 lords cannot do, you said you could do. And having faith in you, that was my mistake." And he really chastises Arjuna. And Arjuna, yeah, with his power, he goes to Yamaloka and sees if this dead son was there in Yamaloka. He doesn't see there. And he goes to other lokas also, the whole Brahmanda. He searches Arjuna. He doesn't find this dead son anywhere. And then he prepares himself to walk into the fire. And that's when comes Lord Krishna and says, no, 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 no. Arjuna, hold on. You don't have to walk into the fire. How merciful is the Lord? What was the audacity of Arjuna that he was saying that in the Sudharma hall in front of Lord Krishna? But Lord Krishna, no, he's still merciful. He's still merciful. Arjuna, no, 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 no. You don't enter into the fire. I know where this dead son is. Not just this dead son. I know where the other sons are. Come with me. So they mount the chariot. They mount the chariot. It's not here. So they mount the chariot, dear devotees. And this chariot is going beyond this Brahmanda. Remember, this is the 10th canto. We are in the very last session, the very last words of 10th canto. In the 5th canto, we have heard the 7 oceans, 7 islands, the Brahmanda, all the layers of Brahmanda. So, Lord Krishna's chariot took Arjuna. Lord Krishna took Arjuna on his chariot, and the chariot is going fast, piercing all these layers of Brahmanda. And then comes this effulgent Brahmajyot. Actually, and then comes Loka mountains. There it's pitch dark. So all these 4 horses of chariot, this is very nice. Saibhya, Sugriva, and Meghapushpa, and Balahaka, all these 4 horses, they couldn't see where to go because it was pitch darkness. Loka mountain, past the Brahmanda is pitch dark. Then Lord Krishna, he called upon Sudarshana Chakra with the effulgence of Sudarshana Chakra. With the speed of the mind, the Sudarshan Chakra is guiding the chariot. And with that speed, they entered into Brahmajyoti. Arjuna could not see the effulgence. He shut the eyes. And into the Brahmajyoti, the chariot took it into a place. And that place is Mahapurusha-loka. That's where Lord Narayana with his 8 arms on the Anantasesha, and all his weapons were personified and accompanying him. And there were many other Shaktis that were accompanying him. So very opulently, Lord Mahavishnu, Mahavishnu was lying there on Anantasesha. And then upon seeing Arjuna and Krishna, Lord Krishna, the Mahavishnu face to face with Lord Krishna. So Lord Mahavishnu, he continued to maintain his majesty. And he addresses Arjuna and Lord Krishna and says, I wanted to see you both. And that's why I brought all those sons of that Brahmana here. And you please continue to exemplify as Naranarayana Rishi, says Mahavishnu. And then Sukadeva Goswami says, after that, Lord Krishna bows down to Mahavishnu, so as Arjuna, and then goes back in the chariot with these sons, with all these dead sons. That's what Sukadeva Goswami experienced in Bhagavatam. Here comes our Acharya Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. He says, this is what Sukadeva Goswami said, but he brings more information from Harivamsha Purana of what exactly happened there. So there, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura says, Lord Krishna, when he came there, he exchanged the glances with his expansion, Mahavishnu there. And then with that glances, he indicated that he will continue to maintain his Nararupa Leela, because Lord Krishna is with Vibhuja and he's performing the Nararupa Leela. And Arjuna was also there. So he indicated to please continue to maintain his opulent position as Mahavishnu. And that's why Mahavishnu said what he has said. Yeah. But Mahavishnu wanted to see Lord Krishna. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains this in detail. He wanted to see Lord Krishna so much that he himself was capturing. He was bringing the sons of the Brahmana. He did not send anybody. He himself came to Dwaraka and he was bringing the sons of Brahmana to him. And he also did this to a Brahmana because Lord Krishna would come to know that he was stealing the sons, and he would come in person only if it is Brahmana's sons, because he's Namo Brahmana Hitayacha. He worships Brahmana. So he explains, Thakura Chakravartipada explains how Mahavishnu is so much longing to see Lord Krishna that he personally came to capture the sons, that too from Dwaraka, that too from the Brahmana. First son, second son, he's desperately waiting. He's like now 10th son. Now Lord Krishna has come. So he was very happy to see Lord Krishna. And then he wanted to bow down, but Lord Krishna indicated to please maintain his supremacy as Mahavishnu. So Mahavishnu himself could not wait, but was so eager to see Lord Krishna. Why? Here the tattva comes. The Purna Purusha, Lord Krishna, has 64 qualities. And Lord Narayana has 60 qualities. The 4 qualities that are special to the Lord Krishna are Rupa Madhuri, his beautiful form, Tribhanga form, Venu Madhuri, enchanting flute, and Leela Madhuri, loving pastimes. Yeah, not just rescuing pastimes of Lord Narayana, loving pastimes with the devotees, and Bhakta Madhuri, the sweet devotees that he has around. These 4, when the Lord has these 4 qualities along with the other 60 qualities, that's Lord Krishna. When the Lord has only 60 qualities but not these 4 qualities, that's Lord Narayana. When the Lord wants to interact with Prakriti in order to create, then that's Lord Shiva, who has only 55 qualities. And Brahma is a Jiva Tattva with 50 qualities. So this is the Tattva behind the hierarchy, supremacy that we have heard. Okay, dear devotees. And the last one. This is FYI only. This is about Mahishi Gita. Mahishi Gita is the Gita of Dwaraka, Queens of Dwaraka. Very esoteric one, like the Gopi Gita, Mahishi Gita also. But so there is something called as Mahishi Gita also that was sung by Dwaraka queens in the middle of the night when they look around, when everything is dark, when the Chekora birds are crying, and they are also saying, oh, are you crying like us also, waiting for Krishna? Like that. So that is all Mahishi Gita. Okay. That's about Mahishi Gita, and that's it. The last shloka of the last session of the 10th canto. This is what Sukadeva Goswami is saying. So we are keeping this 10th canto with us with this shloka. What is Sukadeva Goswami saying? Martyastayanusavam idithaya mukunda Srimad Katha Shravana Kirtana Chintayati Tadhama Dustara Kritanta Javapa Vargam Gramatvanam Kshitibujopi Yayur Yadartaha. And this is Sukadeva Goswami saying, Matyas Tayanusavam Iditaya Mukunda. Oh, Mukunda. This Mukunda's Srimad Katha, very auspicious Krishna Katha. Whoever Shravana hears, Kirtana glorifies, recites, Chintayanti meditates, Tadhama goes to the spiritual abode, Dushtara Kritanta Javapa Vargam, that is not approached by unstoppable death. So he goes to that spiritual abode that is not approached by the unstoppable death. And that's why Gramadvanam Chitibhujopi Yayur Yadartaha. For this purpose, in order to go to that transcendental abode, Gramadvanam Chitibhujopi Yayur. All these, even the great kings, they have left their kingdoms, and Vanam, they became Vanaprastha. Kshitibhujo are the kings. That's why they left their kingdoms and came as Vanaprastha just to Yadartaha, for this purpose. For what purpose? Taddhama, to go to the transcendental abode. And how can one go to be in the transcendental abode? This is whoever hears and glorifies, recites, and meditates on Srimad Katha, very auspicious Krishna Katha. These are the final words of Sukadeva Goswami in the 10th canto, the final one. That's all, dear devotees. That's Ashraya Tattva, 10th canto. Quickly, we will only touch base the take-home points. What have we heard? Yes, Subhadra kidnapped by Arjuna. Okay, that's there. But Shrutadeva and Bahulashva, there, first thing what we have heard is how they did not have false ego. That's why Lord Krishna wanted to come there personally. And there in that context, we have heard that disregard of whatever varna or ashrama we may be in, as the acharyas sing in their bhajans, by arpita bhakti, sharanagata bhakti, when we choose to give away our free will to the will of Krishna, your will is mine, my will, Krishna. I'll dance to your tunes, Krishna. That is devoid of false ego. That is exemplified by both the devotee king and devotee brahmana. That's one point. No false ego. And actually, dear devotees, no false ego. That we have already heard, right? How that is not very easy to have. When somebody has that greater attachment, that will come anyway. Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundari. Okay, that's about no false ego. And the second thing after that is how King Bahulashva not only greeted and worshipped the Lord, but also the devotees. Yes, the devotees, yes, they are pure devotees, but devotees. The Lord is not by himself, he is with the devotees. So not just worshipping the Lord, but the devotees. Yeah, that's one thing. It's a package deal. Lord and the devotees are package deal. That's a beautiful package deal. Yeah, that's Bahulashva, King Bahulashva's. And Shrutadeva. Shrutadeva, how Bahulashva said, right? Holding the lotus feet, Nishkinchananam, and Shantanam. That is the very nature of the devotees who hold the lotus feet of the Lord as their only treasure. Then they are Nishkinchananam, Shantanam. And the same thing by Shrutadeva, he was saying the spotless. Those devotees whose heart is spotless, they are able to recite your glory all the time and be in your thoughts all the time. So there the emphasis was more on Nishkinchananam, wanting only the lotus feet of Lord Hari. That is there. Yeah. And after that, Shrutadeva and yeah, how the Lord endorsed pure devotees. Acharya, right? That is Acharya Upasana, basically. Acharyamma Vijaniyat. The Lord himself is endorsing the pure devotees, Acharyas, as his representative. So whatever Acharya says is the Veda Vaku for us, is the word of the Lord for us. So the Lord is endorsing Acharyas to us, the pure devotees. And so, because why is it like that? The Lord is saying, right, that their foot dust, the dust particle of the feet, of their feet, they sanctify the holy places. Why like that? We already heard from Nattam Das Thakur and even from the Lord, because they carry the Lord. Actually, the Lord says to Shrutadeva, these devotees carry me. These devotees are with me when I go around. So the devotees carry the Lord. And that's why they are non-different from the Lord, because they are actually more powerful than the Lord, because they are the one that can give the Lord. And that is why the Lord is endorsing the devotees. So this is the position of Acharya. And that's why they are called Acharya Bhagavan. Sevaka Bhagavan, Acharya Bhagavan. That's the position of the Acharyas. And that we have heard. And then yeah, the devotees of Lord Vishnu, they may appear not materially wealthy, but how beautifully Sukadeva Goswami explained, they transcend the wealth, entangling material wealth. That's one point. And the second point, yeah, Harishyeta Dhanam Shanai. That the Lord Krishna, how he was saying that I will take away one after the other, the attachments. And there we have heard about how beautifully Gaurasundara said that. And this happens when there is such strong attachment and relishment in what? Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti ahituki tvayi. When that such attachment and relishment in the loving service of Bhagavan, is that easy? Who gives us Bhagavan? We just heard. The pure devotees. When our attachment to the pure devotees is that strong, then the attachment to the lotus feet of the Lord becomes that strong. Why like that? Who is saying that? Lord Kapila. Prasangam ajaram pasham atmana kavayo vidu sayeva sadhu sukruto mokshadvaram apavritam. That attachment outside is pasham, entangling. External attachment is entangling. Attachment to this mind and what the mind has to say. Sankalpa, vikalpa. Attachment to anything that comes from this mind. Anything related to the body is prasangam ajaram pasham. So that attachment is to be directed to sayeva sadhu sukruto, to the sadhu. Proportional to our attachment to the sadhu, that to that degree our attachment to the lotus feet will be there. Otherwise, we will not have the strength to hold on to the lotus feet. We may have the desire, but the mind is so strong with raga and dvesha. So that's why attachment to the sadhu, and then sadhu gives the lotus feet. That is, and sadhu, the vani of the sadhu increases our attachment and the relishment to the service also. So that is through the sadhu, to the Guru Tattva. That is, Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatad Bhakti Haitukitwai. That's one point. That's done, right? Yeah. And then, so in this way, Lord Krishna, yeah. And then the superiority of the Lord, Bhrugumuni, right? In Bhrugumuni's pastime, one thing we have heard is about agitation. There we have heard all about that, one who does not get agitated or agitate others with the thought, with the mind, or with the deed, and stays undisturbed in the happiness or distress or fear or agitation, undisturbed. That we have heard. And there we heard about how the Lord Narayana is doing here and how Gaurasundara has shown in his pastime. That is also beautiful that we have heard about. No agitation, really, no agitation. How can that be possible again when the anchor is strong? When we are very attached to the anchor, lovingly attached to the anchor. Yeah. After that, yeah, the Brahmana's son and how Lord Krishna comes to this Mahapurusha Loka and how Lord Mahavishnu really wanted to see the Lord, his charming form. So in this way, the hierarchy, transcendental hierarchy, supremacy is explained based on the tattva. We have heard about that, right? The 4 qualities of Lord Krishna, unique to him, and the 60 qualities Narayana, 55 is Lord Shiva, 50 Brahma, Jiva Tattva. That's what we have heard. That's all. That's all, dear devotees. And finally, this shloka, how auspicious is Krishna Katha and will place us on the transcendental platform, even when we are in this body, on the transcendental platform. That's all, dear devotees. Thank you all so very much. Yeah, it took time. Last session of 10th Canto. Thank you for your attention to the Katha and for your patience. And I honor your